आवाज आ रही है ये फोनोग्राफ से, ढूंढो खुदा को दिल से, ना लाफो गजाफ से।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Viewers of MTA Africa, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another exciting episode of Future of Work. I am Abdul Qadir Ismail Uluagbeminga, your host, and I am thrilled to have you join us today as we journey into one of the most captivating frontiers of our time, where humans and robots meet. Just a few years ago, the idea of robots working alongside us at work or even collaborating on creative tasks felt like science fiction. But today, it's becoming our reality. From smart assistants to autonomous machines and human-like bots, robotics is gradually weaving itself into the fabric of our workplaces and our lives. But how far is too far? What boundaries do we need to set? And more importantly, how do we harness this technology to improve our world without losing the human touch? To help us unpack all of this, I am joined by two brilliant minds. With me in the studio is Adiagbo Mansour, a computer, electronics, and electrical engineer who currently works as a researcher at Artificial Intelligence for Clean Energy, AI for CE, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso. He holds a master's degree in computer engineering and is also a researcher at Royal Academy of Engineering, the UK. Mansour Sahib, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are thrilled to have you on the show today.
Alhamdulillah.
Also, joining the conversation via call is Yusuf Oyebanji, a software and data analytics engineer who holds a master's degree in advanced computer science and currently works at an artificial intelligence company based in the US. Yusuf Sahib, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Beloved viewers, how do we build a future where humans and robots do not compete but collaborate? What does it take to prepare today's workforce for tomorrow's machines? Our guests would help us unpack all of this. But before we continue, we interviewed some individuals to get their opinions on the interaction between robots and humans. Let us listen to them.
Well, yes, but a lot of people say robots will take our jobs, right? Or they also provide new means of avenue for us to further explore and research how we can explore this space.
Alongside robots could be a norms in the future and also present opportunities for growth and innovation.
Yes, I'd like to work alongside the robots, especially if it take on tasks that are more repetitive, more physically demanding. A robot could significantly increase productivity and safety in environments like factories, warehouses, and even the hospital. However, their integration should be balanced with human labor.
Yes, I will. And the reason why is that looking at the agricultural industry, when the subsistence commercial farming, for example, people practicing commercial farming. So when you talk about the areas of it, the plant production, so there are some hard jobs that we human being do several times and feel tired. When you have robotics within the farm, you will see them. that it won't be too much hard on them for them to practice those tasks like the cultivation of plants, the watering or irrigation of plants. Well, I can't say I will be comfortable like that, simply because the level that it is right now, it's still under development. So, but as time goes on, when it is improved, definitely, especially when it comes to ethics, definitely we will eventually feel comfortable working around them.
Regarding robots on impacting human jobs, I can just give just 3 categories. 1, job displacement. They can easily displace job and so fast from human. 2, job transformation. They can transform job and easily from data driving or so on. 3, job creation. They can help humans in creating a jobs and also create new ones on themselves.
Yes, a robot is going to have a significant impact on the job market because it's going to take on tasks that are more difficult, more repetitive, and more physically demanding. So, in that concept, it has to be something that is going to be interchanging of job roles between a robot and a human. The robot is going to take on the tasks that are more difficult, while the human is going to take on the tasks that requires human creativity, human empathy, and human critical thinking.
Welcome back. Viewers, robots have come to stay, and humans must interact with robots. Mansur Sai.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Yes, as we understand that robots have come to stay, and humans must interact with these robots. So, what roles are robots currently playing in the industries, and how do you think they compete or complement human workers?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. First and foremost, before we dive into the role of robots in the industry,
Okay.
so I would like us to go through the rudiment of robots.
Okay.
The first and foremost, the robot is a machine that is programmed to execute a particular task, and those tasks go through a particular instruction set. In terms of that programming, we need to talk about some programs in terms of Python, C, and C++, C#, Java, and even Pascal. That is even the basics of some of the languages in the fundamental areas. So even when you're talking about MATLAB as well, is in the mathematical laboratory language in which there are some calculation to how robots move in terms of sensors, in terms of the actuators and the likes. Secondly, after understanding the rudiment, that is the basic, the definition of robots, there are also laws that governs the robots. The first law is that a robot may not injure human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. That is the first law. The second law is this, that a robot must obey the order of human being except where such order won't conflict with the first law. And the third one is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and the second law. And that is a science fiction authored by Isaac Asimov. So now, that is artificial. But naturally, I always say something that before we go into artificial, natural do exist. We have natural intelligence, like we human beings, we are natural intelligence. But robots are artificial intelligence. If you don't understand how human being behaves, there's no way we can go into AI. Let's go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
In Quran chapter 66 verse 7, that's Surah At-Tarim, where Allah says they obey or they obey
Surah At-Tahrim.
Tarim.
Okay.
Yes. They obey who? The angels. Allah's command. They are robots. And do exactly as they are instructed. You know, I said that there are a set of instruction. That set of instruction is also replicated in programming. And that makes it to fit in some industry. Take for instance now, in manufacturing industry, like logistic and transportation, in agriculture, in construction industry, where robots are taking the roles of human beings. Another area is the area of healthcare or medical. You see that some robots, they are helpful in and assist in the surgeon, that is the medical professional, with a precise procedure. I say precise because that precision is what human being is lacking. There are some dangerous areas that by calculation, you know, I mentioned MATLAB. By calculation, machine can be helpful more than human being. They work alongside with human being. Not that the doctors will be totally eradicated or totally be eradicated during their job or taking the job totally from them. They also help patients in terms of caring and rehabilitation and therapy. And the third one is robot automates some tasks, such as when it comes to the area of dispensing of medication and process samples.
So, if I can get you correctly, what you are trying to say is the essence of robots is first precision.
Yes.
Because there are some tasks that deal with calculation.
Yes.
By human nature, there is a possibility to make mistake in these calculations. But because robots have been programmed,
yes,
what they will do is to follow strictly that calculation. And there is no emotion that would now affect that calculation, thereby causing errors.
Yes.
Then apart from that, another thing is automation.
Yes.
Because they automate processes without having to jeopardize any
yes, about that precision. You know, we have robotic arm that have a greater range of motion. You know, I made mention of an actuator. That actuator is something like is a rotor or a stepper motor. Yes, a stepper motor that's move in an angular motion. Okay. And human being cannot, if you ask human being to move like 0.000000 degrees centigrade, I mean degree, not centigrade, degree. Human being cannot be perfect to do such a task. So that precision is very germane, is very, very important. So human hands, you know, there are some areas of a microscopy, like a microscopy areas that human will struggle to handle. So robot can do that perfectly. And it will totally eliminate that human error.
So what robot is here to do is to enhance the work of humans.
Yes.
To ensure that the task is being taken to another level while eradicating errors. Yeah. We'll come back to explanation on the robots and how they enhance the human efforts. Go now to Yusuf Sahib. we have spoken about the task of robots, the role of robots, what they do, which is precision and automation, right, amongst other tasks that robots do to enhance human efforts. But what can you say about human-robot interaction? And why is that interaction critical in ensuring successful collaboration between human and machines? How can that collaboration be successful?
Okay, as the name implies, human-robot interaction is a field, or it's a multidisciplinary field which studies between the human and robot, whereby they communicate, collaborate, and coexist in a shared environment. And these robots are here to assist humans, we humans. So, for example, all these top e-commerce companies like Amazon, they implement this robot. They have thousands of robots that work along with human beings. And what these robots do is they go into the warehouse, upload products in their warehouse, and bring it out for human to be able to fulfill the product. It's called fulfillment center. So this robot, they operate in the warehouse and assist human being. And if human tries to go into their own path, they have this intelligent system whereby they know that, okay, human beings moving around this place, and they caution themselves. And another area is robots. We have robots in healthcare system, whereby when a patient is in a distressed position, and this robot is going to alert the nurse that there is a problem with this patient and they need to quickly attend to this person. So, and I would say that the critical in ensuring successful collaboration between the human and the robot are, the first thing, it lies within the trust and safety and clarity. Because if we as a human, we don't trust the robot, and the robot, we believe that they can behave unpredictably, because as my brother said, he said, computer program is a set of instructions given to a computer in a way it understands to perform a specific task. But sometimes there might be a bug among this system whereby the robot misbehave, and whereby it causes damage to people working in that environment. So for us to have a successful collaboration, we need to first test the product very well, so be able to interact with human being, because they are here to help human being. Unlike the olden days whereby we have machines whereby manufacturing companies whereby they use machine that can, maybe the production company that can kill human beings, whereby they put their hand, maybe they are producing a product. But this kind of interaction within human and robots now are just able to ease our affairs, the hard works. For example, now we don't need to put load on our head again. We don't need to move from one location to another location in an inventory company.
What you are trying to say is that the interaction between humans and robots is the one that would now take away the errors of the robots. Do you not think the fear of humans are valid? Because, of course, we have had about robots probably causing harm to humans, or that there can be malfunction. These things are machine. There is a possibility for malfunctioning. So what if the malfunction, is it not the fear people have about robots malfunctioning, is it not valid?
The system now, it was before that the system can malfunction and injure human being, but now they have trained the system to the extent that they have like 99.9 precision. So if the robot system wants to malfunction, for example, the one that I mentioned earlier, it's going to shut down immediately, because these systems that work in the warehouse now, they are so intelligent that if they sense a movement, they are going to pause and stop all what they are doing. Then if their battery is very low, they have a sense organ that, okay, they can move and go and recharge themselves. And once their battery is full, they can go back and start work again. So if there is a problem between the robot and the human, that's going to cause an harm, because all these things, they follow ethical process, like empathy and everything. So they have already programmed such robot whereby when it discovers an harm that's going to affect humans, instead of that robot to continue the task, it's just going to shut down automatically.
Okay. We'll come back to discussion about how the possibility of robots causing harm or injury to humans and vice versa. But first, let us talk about robots now taking on more jobs. So do you not think, because we are now in an era where robots now take on more tasks, we want to assign more tasks to robots, especially like you said, you talked about precision, you talked about automation. Of course, we all want something that is precise. Yeah. We want something that is, if not perfect, near perfect, right? So as robots now take on more tasks, it means the workplace is changing gradually. Yeah. So now this change will affect opportunities. So do you not think job opportunities will be minimal, and this can even cause fear among people with regards to embracing these robots?
And now there's one thing that is, as a robot, the role of robots is increasing every day in the industry. And that is a challenge for the young one outside there, for them to go on with new knowledge on the robotic machine. Take for instance, I know normally all those languages I said the other time, we just need to start learning it, so that by the time robots and human being collaborate, the situation will not be total disengagement. So by learning all those, the machine that work alongside with, human being that work alongside with robots. Let me give you an instance now. In the agricultural sector, whereby automatic irrigation. I said the other time that without natural intelligence, there is no artificial. In farm sector, where automatic irrigation will take place, using like an IoT, it is human being that will design that IoT, a smart device that will do automatic irrigation for the farm sector, that will check for the temperature. It's human being that will do the engineer will do the construction of all these machines. So, and it's now a challenge for the young mind or the young one to go on with their programming language learning.
If we say the challenge is for individuals to now take on the learning process of different programming language.
Yes.
But we have to understand that not everyone would want to toe that path.
Yes.
People who are already professionals.
Yes.
And with the fear of robots now taking over their task, of course, they would not want to accept.
Yes.
This.
Let me give you another instance now. Like in the medical line, the surgeon would sit and be controlling the robotic arm during the operation or surgical process. So by that, and once the robots are gradually taking some job, because there are some areas that it's very dangerous. Like during operation, like tumor. I'm not a medical personnel, but there are some operations that, I said about precision the other time. If the young one learn more about how robots operate, there are some engineers that at the initial stage that they will learn the engineering process. So it is those engineers will do the construction. It will not take the job from them. Though the percentage will be more minimal. The percentage will be more minimal in the industry. Because as I said earlier on, like in the agricultural sector, it is human being that will set the robots rolling. It's the human being that will do the production. And it is human being that will make just a button to do the irrigation and we monitor. If we go to power sector at the same time, you know, there's a kind of misunderstanding remove that I need to do, because most people believe that a robot is like human-like, who have that physique of human being. No. There are some devices that will enhance and give more percentage to efficiency on how human beings work.
So if I can try to break down everything you have said for better clarity, I would say that what it means, what we are supposed to do is whatever you do, whatever you are doing at present, just try to know it well.
Yes, in all sectors.
Because in all sectors, because even when robots are coming, there are people who must understand that sector that will give information about what robots are supposed to do. So when you know what you're supposed to do, even if you do not know anything about programming, you cannot design the robot. The person that would design that robot would need your own information, your own human input. And like you said, when there is no natural intelligence, there can be no artificial intelligence. So your own natural intelligence is needed for the proper integration of this robot,
the process of the production,
to understand what they are supposed to do. So in essence, what is most important is know what you are doing and do it good. Okay, now Yusuf Sahib, different companies. Okay, different companies now have they have integrated robots into their processes, but I'm sure there are still companies that are facing several challenges with the integration of all robots into human teams. So what challenges do companies face, and how can these challenges be overcome?
Actually, there are several layers to this challenge, both cultural, psychological, and technical. But the one that people always worry about is the psychological aspect, whereby when robots are introduced, the people often worry about their job loss or being replaced, although their fear is valid and must be addressed by the company openly. And also, the next thing is companies need to position robots and tools as to augment human capability, not just to replace them, because there's no way robots can ever replace human. It will create more opportunities than to just replace human. Because when robot is being created, there are several jobs, opportunities that are being created. Just like I said, I work in an AI company whereby when the AI system coming into places, there are other several fields coming up now, like AI developer, whereby AI trainers. If you are a writer, there will be a way that you are going to train AI model. It's all these things that are learning based on human intelligence. So it's what is the instruction that we give to these things that's going to get back to us. And another thing is the challenges the company might also face is the cost effectiveness. These things, they are very expensive. And sometimes you just need to do your feasibility study very well before integrating robots into your company, because you should check the cost, whether if you continue to hire human in the next 20 years and you invest in a robot, is it going to cost you more? Instead, I should keep employing more humans, because there are some things that robots can actually not do. And for example, I will go back to the other top companies that do the inventory. They, after the robot have fulfilled their product by saying they are still going to send the product to human to check for the accuracy, because these things, they are just doing the heavy work, going to warehouse, pull out the data, and go to the human section and deliver the product. whereby the human scan the keyword and check whether the product is actually going to
So
the right place.
in essence, there are layers of challenges. Well, and like you said, the foremost is the psychological fear or psychological challenge where people fear of being they fear being replaced with these robots or being taken over by these robots. So, and this is, although the fear might seem valid, but there is something that we should not disturb ourselves about. So of course something that can be solved. What you need to do, like Monso Saib said, is know what you are doing, and you can never be replaced by any machine. Okay, now to wrap it up in just a very few words, in a very short sentence. So what advice would you give to individuals who are willing to go into the study of robotics?
My advice is that they should stay up to date and to continue the learning process, because as the world is changing, they need also to change. The young one, they don't need to be static in there, because we find the role of robots now is diving into many sectors. So even in banking and in all areas. So they just need to stay up to date. That is just my advice.
Okay. Yusuf sir, what would be your advice?
Okay, my advice to young professionals is to be more of generalists instead of specialists, because we are in the area of AI whereby you need constant change. So if you just focus on, okay, I want to be a web developer alone, and you're not trying to add more to your knowledge, because if you keep doing the same thing, like as a web developer, you'll be displaced, because most of this job now, AI can do it, that you don't even need to become a web developer before you can develop a website.
But when you said it's better to be a generalist than to be a specialist, do you not think that it is that speciality that we need sometimes? Because when you are specialized in a particular field, you know what you are doing. When you are called anytime, any day, when people who are generalists sometimes encounter challenges, they will have to come to you, because you know the in and out of what you are doing. You know what you are doing. Of course, you can say know something about everything, but you have to focus on what you must know everything about something too. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what I mean by the generalist aspect is just follow your curiosity and across discipline, because you have to understand the intersection between the engineering, the psychology, this design, the ethics, and the communication. That's what I mean by generalist. But if you are a specialist, that what you just do is just to code, like a web developer, just code only. In this era now, the job is shifting. So when the job has shifted to another place, you'll be left out, because you don't have any idea in the intersection between the engineering, the psychology, the design pattern. So you just have to start by building a foundation first. Like you can have a programming understanding like Python and every other thing, but it's not mainly about coding alone, because there are more to it in a robotic system. Because we have a programming, once you understand the programming as a programmer, there are people that are into the control system, and there are people into the AI. So you just have to have an idea across all fields to be a significant person in the society. So if you just focus on one thing that you want to know, where, like, okay, I'm a data analyst and I want to keep just using Excel and Power BI to analyze data. And when these two are these sophisticated machines that are coming up now, when they start doing all this work, then if you can't perform more ahead of these things, then you'll be left out.
So Yusuf Saib has a lot to give us. Yeah, of course, he is passionate about upskilling. So know more about a lot of things. What he wants is you have to build a strong foundation. You have to build a robust foundation. Even if you are going to specialize on something, build a very wide foundation. So when you build a wide foundation, if you are now going into a specific field, when it seems like that something is fading in that area, you know how to change motion and how to move to something else. Jazakumullah khairan, Yusuf Sahib, for your invaluable insights. Jazakumullah khairan, Mansoor Sahib, for your for the share of your knowledge and expertise. Viewers, thank you very much. Jazakumullah khairan for being with us on this show. We look forward to meeting you again in the next show, but in the next episode. But before we meet again, if you have comments, questions, or even observations, do not hesitate to reach out to us via africa@mta.tv. I remain your host, Abdul Qadir Ismail Oluwagbemiga. Until we meet again on another episode of Future of Work, do not forget to always upskill. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
जब तक अमल नहीं है दिले पाको साफ से, जब तक अमल नहीं है दिले पाको साफ से, कमतर नहीं ये मशगला बुत के तवाफ से, कमतर नहीं ये मशगला बुत के तवाफ से।